So you are very welcome to this class. Finding yourself a comfortable way to begin. So maybe lying down, maybe allowing yourself to be supported by the floor, seeing if you can just give your weight to the floor and receive support. Grab a blanket, a pillow, taking this time just for you. And allowing yourself to arrive into this space. And so if you need to take any little bit of movement, maybe lying on your back isn't for you right now, maybe you would prefer to lie on your side. Just having a little brief check-in to see what you can do to help yourself land into the space. And then no matter what orientation you're in, taking a deep breath, the deepest breath you've taken yet today, and releasing out, making as much noise as feels good. So we'll do two more of those. So take them to your own depth, to your own pace. If you would like to hold the breath after you've inhaled, please do. And when you're ready, just exhale fully and completely. And once you've completed these exhales, just see if there's any little shift. Do you feel like you can arrive more into this space now? And then if you wish to set an intention for this practice, or maybe invite in a question. So our theme this month is on coming home. So coming home to ourselves, coming back to what we need. So maybe there is something around that you would like to work with, or maybe you have a question that you would like to invite into your practice and see what arises. So just take the time to check in and see what would be supportive for you. Ensuring the words that you use resonate and make sense for you, that you feel a sense of connection to them. And taking your intention or your question, repeating it in the mind and letting it sit, letting it sit within the body somewhere that makes sense for you. And checking in with the breath without changing it right now, just noticing how it is without judgment. And whatever way it is for you right now, seeing if you can take the breath a little bit deeper. Maybe can you take the breath to fill the rib cage? Can you allow a sense of expansion to the side of the body and to the back of the body? Would you like to take the breath a little bit further? So filling the rib cage and bringing expansion into the belly. What is your experience when you just focus on the breath? And continuing with this expansive breath or allowing your breath to return to your normal. As you bring your awareness to your lips, the tongue, the teeth, your left ear, your right ear, your left nostril, your right nostril, your left cheek, your right cheek, your left eye, your right eye, forehead, top of the head, back of the head, and neck. The left shoulder blade, left upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist, hand, thumb, and all fingers. The right shoulder blade, the right upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand, thumb, and all the fingers on the right side. The collarbones, the upper chest, upper back, the mid chest, the mid back, the lower belly, the lower back, the front of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis, the left thigh, knee, shin, calf, ankle, foot, and all the toes on the left side. The right thigh, knee, shin, calf, ankle, foot, and all the toes on the right side. Both feet together, both legs together, the front and back of the torso together, both arms and hands and fingers together, the neck, face and head together, the whole lower body and upper body together, working and breathing as one. This beautiful place that is your home, that supports and nourishes you every day. And as we work with the theme of coming home, bringing in this idea of being your own ever present, being your own constant, that you can observe the external, knowing that your home place within you is unwavering, and that this place is always available to come back to, perfect and whole, exactly as it is. And so when you're ready, we're going to begin to bring in some gentle movement. So maybe coming on to lying on your back if you've been on your side. If you want to remove any props, please do. You can keep the legs out long or bent at the knees, whichever is your preference. Bringing your attention to your neck and your head, and allowing one ear to move towards one shoulder, but deciding where it is you would like to stop. And just take a few moments to breathe into this place. Gently moving the head back to center, and then moving the other ear towards the other shoulder. And again, deciding how far you want to go, what level of sensation feels good now. And breathing. Very gently bringing your head back to center. And moving the chin towards the chest. And again, deciding where you would like to stop. And taking a few breaths. And gently bringing the head back to its resting, normal resting place. Bringing your arms out to a T with the palms facing upwards, and gently allowing the arms to move up and down as if you're making a snow angel, but taking your time with the length and the pace. Maybe you'd like to move them just a little bit. Maybe you would like to explore their full expansion. Knowing that we have no specific goal here, we are working with sensation and curiosity. There's no set amount of time. It's taking the time to connect in with what you need. Taking any pauses that you wish. And when you're ready, you can rest down the arms. Bringing your attention now down to your pelvis. And so you can bring the legs into a constructive rest. So bending them at the knees and keeping the feet flat on the floor. And we're going to bring in a little bit of movement to the pelvis. So maybe rotating the pelvis around. So as if you're working a hula hoop. And move in the opposite direction. And then we're going to rock backwards and forwards. So our arch and flatten, the pelvic tilt. And again, taking the time to explore. Can you notice all the teeny tiny little movements just in this one area of the body? As you rock your pelvis backwards and forwards, where else can you notice movement? What are the feet doing? Mhm. Sit down when you're ready. And you can leave the knees bent. And so we're going to do our full body twist or our wash rag. So, you know, when we talk about with the breath having a full exhale and that sensation of kind of wringing out the body, as if you would, like, you know, the way you would wring out a wet cloth. So, from this place of constructive rest. And so, finding a comfortable place for the arms. So, you can have them out in a T, or you can have the palms facing down, resting on the floor. And keeping your awareness around the knees and the pelvis area. So moving them to one side, and it doesn't matter which side you move first. Taking maybe a wider stance with the leg. And as you move your knees to one side, noticing the twist that's happening up the side of the body. Noticing how far the sensation goes up. Noticing the contraction on the other side. Taking a breath. Very gently and carefully coming back to center. Taking a pause. And then doing the same on the other side. So slowly allowing the knees move towards the other side. And as you do that, noticing the sensation from the pelvis up through the side of the body, maybe even up through to the armpit. And breathe. Very gently coming back to center. Maybe then bringing the arms out to a T if they haven't been already, and doing that again. So moving towards the first side again. And then seeing what it would be like to bring the head in the opposite direction. And breathing. Very slowly moving your head back to center. Bringing the knees back to center and doing the same on the opposite side. Having those arms out in a T. Do you find the sensation of the head wanting to move in the opposite direction? And breathe. Very gently bringing the head back to center, and finally the legs. Taking a breath here. And then either keeping the legs bent or you can have them out straight, whichever is your preference. We're just going to do one leg at a time. Straightening out, pointing the toes towards the sky, and then straight ahead at the wall ahead. So we're just pointing and flexing. And you can keep the foot on the ground. When you're ready, swapping over to the other leg. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll over and meet in tabletop. So coming in to that, whatever way works for you, you can roll over onto the side. And then maybe use the arms to push through. Whichever works for you. So before we get into what we're getting into, so either sitting on the hunkers, or you can sit, if you want to just sit on your bum, you can do that. And we're just going to warm up the wrists a little bit. So just taking them into circles. Opposite direction. We're going to bring the hands together as if you're bringing them into prayer. Interlock the fingers and send the hands away. Take a few breaths. Release the hands down, shake them out. We'll do that again once more, sending the hands away and then playing with bringing them up towards the sky, but stopping where is right for you. So you don't have to bring them up over the head. Finding that place where you are happy with. Resting down, shaking out the hands. And then coming into tabletop, we're just going to do a couple of more bits with the hands. So playing with bringing the hands to the outside of the body, and we'll just do one hand at a time. So just rotating the hand outwards. Finding where your limit is, walking it back into its normal, and then doing the same on the other hand. So having the position that you would typically have your hand in, and then just slowly making adjustments, seeing how far your hand would like to work. And we'll do the other hand again. Where you take wherever is your stopping point for you, just taking a breath. And coming back. And then doing the same on the other side, finding the point where you are happy to stop. And then having a few breaths. Up off the hands for a moment, giving them a break, shaking them out if you wish. Okay. And so we're going to work with thread the needle for a few moments. So coming into your tabletop position, so you're all fours, or if you wanted a bit more height, you can use a chair, or this could be your couch, side of your couch, or the side of your bed. If you want a bit more height, so you're not putting as much weight through the wrists, you can do that as well. So when you are ready, sweeping an arm up towards the sky and coming down, passing your hand through your other arm, so threading your needle. So we're just going to play with the movement for a moment, and then we'll take a pause. And so if you're doing this on a height, same idea. So you can sweep out, send under, you're getting all the same sensations in the shoulders. And you might even get a wider range of motion if you're up off the ground. So whichever is your preference. And then on your next one, finding a place where you like to pause. So finding the stopping point for your arm. So you can go as far in as you wish. And then deciding whether you would like to stay upright or to create more sensation, maybe come onto the forearm. More sensation again with your other forearm. Or you can bring the head to the floor. So deciding what you want right now and be guided by the sensations in the shoulders, the wrists, the knees, and breathe. And then very gently bringing yourself out of that, and we'll work on the other side. So sweeping and threading your needle and honoring the difference, if any, between both sides. And then on this side, when you're ready, finding the place where you want to take your pause. Being guided by the sensations that you notice, whether you want more or less. Very gently coming up out of that. Taking a break off the wrists again. And then when you're ready, we are going to explore our trusty cat cow. So our beautiful spinal work. So finding your tabletop position and then working from the pelvis, tucking that pelvis under and allowing the spine roll so that it's coming up towards the ceiling. And then taking the movement in reverse, so moving from the pelvis, the belly moving towards the floor. Finding a soft gaze ahead. You don't need to raise the eyes much. And breathing. And so moving through cat and cow at your pace and taking any sideways or lateral movement along this plane. Seeing if you can bring a bit of an internal experience with this cat cow. Maybe closing over the eyes if you find that helpful. Maybe noticing the areas of the body that might need a bit of a different movement. Maybe the hips or the shoulders. Maybe the wrists or the hands. When you move the spine, your spine, in every way that it needs to be moved, can you move it so that you can bring fresh energy, release all that stagnant energy from the back? And you take a pause if you'd like to take a pause. Taking what you need here for another moment. And then when you're ready, we're going to meet in mountain pose. So in whatever way works for you to get to standing, you can come through a downward dog, or you can come to kneeling on the legs, coming into this like half lunge and coming up this way. Whatever way works for you. And if you've come up through dog, taking your time to uncurl the spine. Being gentle with your head. And then arriving in mountain pose. So finding your feet, finding that place where you are stable, balanced, equal as you can through both legs. If it is comfortable for you, you can close over the eyes and breathe. Taking a moment to check in with what is present in the emotional body, the mental body, and the physical body. And then when you're ready, we'll just spend a little bit of time working through a warrior flow. So finding our warrior legs, and we're going to take our sideways stance. So rocking the weight from side to side. And when you're ready, landing the feet and seeing how supportive that is. Making any adjustments that you need. You're taking the legs wider, more together. Whatever you need. So we're looking for a sense of evenness through both legs. Don't mind what the legs look like or the toes are pointing. We want to feel strong through the feet, through the knees, and into the pelvis. We don't want the knees falling in, the feet falling in. We want good, strong feet, strong knees, and the pelvis will follow suit. And so when you're ready, and again, if you wish to close the eyes for this, you can. We're going to sweep the arms up and find our warrior one. Seeing if you can allow them fall with control. And find your warrior two. And breathe. Coming into reverse warrior. So the back hand is going to come down the leg. And then reversing that, coming onto the knee, reaching overhead and breathing. And then this top arm coming all the way down like a windmill. And as you come through your windmill, shifting the feet. And we're going to reach the arms back up for warrior one. Allowing the arms to find your warrior two. Reversing. And then coming over towards the knee. And then that top arm is going to sweep down again. We're going to shift our feet and come back into our warrior one. Flowing into warrior two. Reversing. Coming onto the knee. And then coming into your windmill. Let's do the same on the other side. Noticing if you can find that strength through the body. And as you find it through the body, how does it support the mind? Pause or a break whenever you wish. If you want to come back into mountain pose and have a few breaths there. Sometimes taking a pause and resuming can be quite powerful. So taking your time. Again, we have nowhere to be and nothing to do but be with the body, the breath, observe. We don't have a set amount. We're just exploring. Taking your time to bring yourself to a point of completion with your warrior flow. And there is no rush here. When you're ready, we can meet in mountain pose. And again, there is no rush. So when you find yourself in mountain pose, just taking a moment to check in. When you're ready, we're going to sweep the arms up and take a nice forward fold. So taking whatever width you need in the legs, sweeping those arms up, folding in whatever way works for you. So you can have the hands together in prayer if you wish. Reaching the body towards the floor. Maybe rocking from side to side. And then gently we're going to roll ourselves back up, uncurling the spine bit by bit, being very careful with the heavy head. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way down to Shavasana. So you can get whatever socks or jumpers or blankets that you need. And then coming through back to the floor, so you can come into a forward fold. You can reach the hands down and step back. You can, again, reach the hands forward and step back as if you're in a plank. Come to tabletop. And then find your way to lying down. Or if you wish to come to a squat, you are welcome to do that. Any way that works for you to get from standing back to the floor. And taking the time to arrive onto your mat once again. Noticing any difference between when you arrived to now. And can you label the difference? Can you give it a name? Can you identify it? And without a judgment, but just noticing what the difference is for you. taking the time to settle. And as we explore the idea of being your ever present, being your own ever present, your own constant, I'm just going to read this poem, which you're probably familiar with, The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And so that ties in with our idea of things coming and going, but you are not the things. You are separate to the things. You are always whole, and you are always your ever present and ever constant. So if you wish, you can take time to settle back and check in with your intention or a question you brought into your practice. Taking this time to take what you need. So slowly allowing your awareness to begin to return. Noticing the sounds that you can hear within the body, sounds within the room that you're in. Maybe sounds beyond the room you're in. Noticing the sensation of air on your skin. The texture of your clothes, your blanket. Allowing sensation to arrive to you. And just noticing what comes into your awareness. If you'd like to take any movement, please do. Whether that's a big stretch out like a starfish, maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest, maybe rolling over onto your side for a few moments. Taking whatever you need as we move back to our regular day to day. And when you're ready, coming to a seated position. And you can keep the eyes closed if you wish as you come into whatever way suits you to sit. And we're just going to close the class with 3 ohms. So you can join or you can just listen. So when you're ready, Om. 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 You just need the info of that to dissolve within, bringing your palms to touch and sending yourself gratitude for this practice. And thank you so much for practicing it.